All right, starting the episode. In about a minute and 9 seconds, the actual episode will start where it'll say, champs versus stars. And so if you want to sync up with me, you can totally do that. I'm doing that audio commentary for Battle of the Challengers podcast, covering episode 10. What's it fucking called? Bank Rolling in the Deep. And you know what? I just gotta say this. I really like this final. Um, this is probably the best final out of this mini series, champs versus stars or champs versus pros, and it's also one of the better finals we've had, even when you consider the other regular seasons. I would compare this to Rivals 2, where it's not about this long ass marathon. It's about speed. You got like five tasks, and here we go. Challenge Champs versus Stars 2 just starts, and this is fucking picking up where we left off with fucking Kayla and Drake trying to pry clothes apart against Casper and Louise. And if you really think about it, I mean, the idea is kind of cool, but thank God for editing, because if you're there live, if you're standing there watching it live, it's boring as shit. It's a huge momentum killer. I mean, the idea is clever. But here we go. But Miz, holy shit, as the host, just brings so much goddamn energy. Like, I'll be discussing this later on. This little award show that I have for the challenge. And last season, I gave Miz, like, I think it was supporting or best, something like that. I don't know, a huge award. If you know anything about this podcast, I guess. Here we go. Casper fucking just saying, like, I gotta fucking win. I gotta. And I believe in him the entire time. There was nothing about Drake or Kayla that made me think. And look at Casper just smiling. Well, he's just jumping to victory. Fucking. Casper is just. This is what he does. He jumps ropes all the fucking time. Smiling. And there goes, holy shit, Louise taking a break. This is goddamn foreshadowing, because later on Wes and will say to Boobies, like, man, that made her look really bad. She did not look impressive at all, and that will kind of hurt their time. It will in ways. But we'll get into it more later on how they do in the final. Yeah, they get to 2000. No surprise there. And thank God. Like, I really wanted Casper and Louise to go in a final against goddamn CT and Tony and Wes and Booby. That is an awesome fucking. That's an awesome lineup. And again, that reminds me of Rivals 2 again, where it's like that final was all about speed, and you only had like maybe five checkpoints that you had to do, you know. But it also involved amazing stacked talent. So let's see here. Yeah, they're gonna join. Drake is disappointed. Kayla, does she cry? Oh yeah, she does. There's no need for that, Kayla. I don't know. I wasn't rooting for her. I wasn't believing in her. I was mostly annoyed by her. I don't know. It's weird. Like, I remember wanting her to get to the final last season, but now I don't know. It's weird. And Drake, he was pretty cool throughout the season, and now he's just kind of done. And I feel like that eventually that didn't take me by surprise, and I'm wondering why, because I did like Drake throughout the entire thing, and then all of a sudden I'm like, maybe it was because they were going against Luis and Casper. So not only did I think that they would lose, but I was really hoping they would lose. Um, Miz as the host. He has some great handwork. I don't know. I just want to say that. I just want to throw that out there. um, All right, Drake Haley. Oh my God, she's still crying. Unnecessary. I mean, I don't know. You're still cast, Kayla. You're coming back for what is it? Final Reckoning. You're gonna be with Kaylee. You know, she's Kayla's become a staple in this thing. She really has, and it's weird because I really liked her in Invasion of the Champs. Her premiere outing. Now, am I crazy or did I just see Drake just like all of a sudden take this crazy leap out of camera at that very last second when they were exiting the arena or the elimination area? That was very weird. Go back and watch that. I could have swore he just kind of like, woo, thank God, thank Christ, There's some people that go on the show where they're just like, fuck this, like I'm getting paid, yeah, and this is free promotion for my brand, I guess, and I'm trying to make money for charity. But if it doesn't work, like, I don't know. I just remember Riff Raff wanting to leave, where he was like, he wanted to go into elimination and he also wanted to lose, right? All right, here we go. The final dinner before the final, I guess. This is I was waiting for this to kind of make sense or to pay off. Does it pay off? Let's see here. Wes and Booby, they dress alike, which is fine. It's not the funniest thing ever. What else is there? Casper. No, Louise disses Wes. This is a very Wes heavy episode. And it's been a very Wes heavy season. And this is crazy, man. Like, this is the last episode. I've really, really loved this season overall. Like, this is the nice little break. This nice little break in the clouds where the sunshine pours through. I'm like, oh my God, thank God. I must live in Seattle because this barely fucking happens. But then the clouds are kind of, cover the skies again. And we're going to have to deal with the regular seasons. We're going into, what's it called? Final Reckoning in about, when's that premiered? July 10th? So holy shit, yeah. July 10th. That's crazy to think about. So next Tuesday. I'm recording this at the 4th of July. I really don't want to, but I figure I have to fucking get to this thing eventually. I don't know why I've held it off, but look at this. Serial training with Wes and Poopy. This is awesome. I actually really enjoy seeing this. I like the interaction between these two. And this is not, I mean, this is proper training. Like, you do have to fucking start to eat shit. You got to probably do puzzles a lot. We should be seeing that. We should all, oh my God. And then this is where Booby's like, hey man, I've won I'm a champion in all these fucking titles and all these other arenas and shit. What was it? NBA Nationals and shit like that. Here we got CT and Tony. They're training together on this. Oh fuck, what was it called? Tandem bike. Yeah, there we go, tandem bike. And CT, he wasn't able to complete. Well, no, he was able to complete. Sorry. He got third place, but he wasn't able to get out of third place the entire time in the Dirty 30 final, where they were like way up fucking high. I think it was somewhere in Argentina, and it was high elevation. And CT, being the bigger man, being the older man, and being the I already said bigger, but he, CT's rocking the dad bod. He has yet to really get in shape, although he'll prove that he can get over most anything because he's goddamn the beast, CT. But what I'm saying is, going into this, I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, we'll have to see how this works, I believe Casper and Louise mentioned how they aren't scared of CT and Tony in a final. And here they are training, Casper and Louise training, and Louise is, having a bit of a hard time not breathing, but she's breathing hard. And that's where Casper's like, you are making me nervous, girl. Like, holy shit, you're supposed to be Olympian level. And she is. But she will fucking gas out, let's just say this. All right, let's get into the beginning. It's raining out. And add the elements to any final, and it's fucking great. You know what? I don't think it's ever been done really. I'm trying to think. It didn't snow in Battle of the Exes 1, you know. There wasn't a sandstorm in Battle of the Seasons when they were in the desert. But no, this is great. This is raining. It reminds me of the Ruins elimination. Bananas versus Dunbar, and Susie versus Kimberly. You know, that shit is immortalized because of the elements. We're gonna play Bankroll. We got what, 4 stations, 5 stations, something like that. I really like the variety and all this stuff. We're gonna have a lot of, like, you know, people are gonna go from first to second, and, you know, vice versa. A lot of third coming up and shit. You know, that's what you want overall, even regardless of who is participating. You know, to see that shit, to see the level of competition in a final is amazing all by itself. So this is gonna be great to watch. This takes a while though. I forget. Like, this is, how long is this episode? 40 goddamn minutes. And I already feel like I'm like, no, I can sum it up perfectly. It's fine, but it's fine. We'll go at this live, streaming style, but not really. What's going on here? They're cutting back to previously. Why? Oh yeah, because Tony gets to sabotage somebody in this final. He's gonna give it to Casper and Louise. No goddamn surprise there. 2-minute delay. Who cares? Like, again, like, this final's great. It doesn't really matter. You know, they could have gave it to anyone, and it's so evenly matched. But we're still sitting around not even talking about it, thinking about it. Let's get to the final already. And where is this taking place? It's like very hilly. It's grassy. There's like this weird fencing all over the place. It almost looks like they're not tombs, so it's not a cemetery, but it does look like little bitty, like, stick crosses put into the desert for goddamn Logan in Wolverine. You know, take that shit out, make it into an X, not a cross. I don't know what I'm saying. But it's, okay, here we go. This final is full of rain, and it's very slick, it's muddy, and this actually is quite similar to Vendettas, where fucking Nicole ends up fucking twisting her ankle up and shit. And now look at that. CT steps in the mud bad. You know, he's like, oh, my fucking back. If your father's telling me, you know, you gotta just step in a Lego and shit. I don't know, but that is very human. You know, it's very scary. Like, I have bad ankles, but, like, I've also fucked up my back once, and it is freaky. You know, you have to alter the way you stand, and we'll see that by CT. Eventually, he'll have to, like, throw his fucking shoulders back and run at a particular angle the entire time. But here we are at Puckett, which I think is brilliant. You got to fucking balance on. I mean, balancing alone, but it's raining, and you have to together push this tire. It's fucking great. CT tells Tony repeatedly. He's like, "Hey man, you're not doing this right. Don't push it with the pole. You hold the pole still, and you walk with it." Here we go. Casper and Louise. They get close. Look, they're there. You know, with a 2-minute. Oh shit. Wes and Booby. They get it. They're off. This is great. You know, I've said countless times that I'm a huge Wes fan, and I'm also a huge Booby fan. So the fact that they're in the lead right now, I'm like, holy shit, this is fucking amazing. Casper and Louise, they get to the Puckett thing, and I don't know. I'm already believing in Casper and Louise. I feel like in this checkpoint, in the running, it doesn't matter, you know, because, you know, CT is great at almost anything, but you know, Tony, he's just too headstrong. But no, he's able to coach Tony through this shit. They're off to the next thing. And Casper, he's coaching Louise. You know, he Casper is not a worldly Olympian athlete. He's a worldly dancer athlete. Well, would you call them athletes? He's a fucking dancer. He's so great of a dancer. He got to bang J Lo. I mean, come on. They finally get it. Yeah. And I figured they would. I figured they would eventually get it. You know, Louise is making me nervous as well. Yeah, if I'm trying to describe this like I'm watching it for the very first time, it is kind of worrisome. But here we go with the giant ass Miz coins. They're there. Still raining heavily. 1 out of 4 Miz coins. Let's see here. Oh shit! Yeah, CT is back is fucked up, man. He can't even run. He has to walk. They're passed up by Casper and Louise. You know. Oh my gosh! Like if I could cut into the future, present day, if I'm still trying to talk about the past, I'm just like, fuck. I remember freaking the fuck out. You know. I. But then again, I was like, well, okay, if they have to lose this way, they CT didn't come out of third place in the Dirty 30 final. So I was like, oh, we might be seeing this again. I felt some sort of validation in my projection, you know, where I'm just like, oh no, I'm totally going to predict that CT's going to get third place, you know. Like they're too unstoppable, but there's got to be some sort of X factor with them. And the X factor happens with CT and Tony. And the fact that CT gets injured, that is crazy. This was okay. Well, anyways, we're on to station 2, Blockhead. This is awesome. This is so fucking fun because I've never been on a hoverboard at all, and I can't even understand the concept. You just have to be completely still. I mean, not still, but like put some slight momentum forward so that you go forward, but not enough. I don't know. It's mind-boggling to me. All right, CT Tony getting there. Miss Coin, but still walking. Really bad. Oh, really fucking bad. CT's like, I'm kinking it every fucking time I take a goddamn step. I step on a crack, break my fucking back, motherfucker. Oh, now Wes is very herky-jerky on this hoverboard trying to figure it out. It's got to be frustrating as shit and nerve-wracking because, you know, if you do fall, you have to start, you know, all the way back. But they're grabbing these giant-ass Lego puzzles. You know, this particular checkpoint is great just because, I mean, the marketing alone, you know, you're selling hoverboards, you're selling Legos. Brilliant, brilliant move by producers. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, never mind. I just, while Casper's just hovering to his line, I just saw Booby stepping onto his hoverboard within the, you know, hoverboard zone. I figured if you touched, you had to go back. No, I guess not. Never mind. But Casper having 3 hoverboards at home. Oh my God, Wes says like, oh, it's because he doesn't have a job. So, you know, that's how you get really good at this shit. But I don't know. Wes has a lot of hate for Casper. I don't feel like he should. I feel like maybe he does in terms of like, oh, well, we are totally anti non-challenge full-blooded people, you know? But to me, I'm just like, I wouldn't fucking care. You know, if someone came in here that you really liked because of their gameplay, I don't know what I'm saying. Here we go. Tony having to scream at CT to try and pick it up, and CT cannot. He's got to walk it. He has to walk it, and he's going to. But let's see here. What happens here? Does anything change? Nothing changes. I forgot about this. No, this is all about Casper and Louise. They're going to get to the goddamn... they're going to get the blockhead first, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Tony having to be the coach now. Oh, look at that! He's throwing. He's like, yeah, throw the shoulders back, arch it up. Like that's brilliant coaching. You know, like impromptu coaching by fucking Tony. You know. Again, this hoverboard shit. Oh fuck, this hoverboard stuff just looks so awesome. Like I don't know. I always like the challenge to surprise me with new innovations. You know, throwing crazy combinations of everyday things into a challenge. You know, like this would be fun. This would also be extremely difficult. You know, the puzzle as well. You know, these giant blocks because they have to interconnect and shit. So you have to go it a certain way. You can't just like put it together on the ground because no one's doing that. I guess. Wouldn't have been a bad idea. But yeah, this puzzle has a bunch of pictures of. Oh my God, What was it? Arian Foster. Huge shout out to episode 1. I kind of wish he stayed, but fucking Casper being the great son of a bitch challenger that he is, he eliminated him in fantastic fashion. I remember him taking that small little pause before hitting it a couple more times to win the thing. Such a cocky move. It was great. Yeah, puzzle pieces, Legos, pictures, and shit. Oh shit, Booby. The whole time, Booby's saying like, "Listen, I'm not counting these guys out. They excel in these checkpoints," which is totally fucking true. I'm gonna assume that Booby has done his homework. He has watched tape on his opponents or whatever. He's watched those old seasons, man. Oh my god. So Casper and Louise are ahead, and Louise chooses to walk. Where the fuck is this place? Like, look at all this cool ass fencing. That's clearly not done by production. They were just like driving by one day, scouting for locations, and they're like, "Holy shit!" You know what? No, I take that back. No, the roads were so goddamn bad and slippery. They crashed and they had to walk. And they're like, you know what? It felt like this crazy ass graveyard, or maybe is it a grapevine? What is it called? I can't think. Winery. Jesus Christ. All right, not Casper. Wes and Booby finally get their puzzle done. They're taking off. Yeah, it is frustrating. Wes just says, he's like, listen, they fucking took our spot. They're in first place right now. They were at third. They were designed to stay in third place with the 2-minute delay. But there's no fucking stop in Casper. Well, I mean, technically there is. I mean, there's no. No, there isn't stopping Casper because he doesn't get stopped. He just gets. He gets passed by. Yeah, there you go. All right, so little bitty piece there. They got to go back. They got to fix what they just did. Sounds like what I just did on this podcast with my Santans. Wes and Booby, they got their fucking second Miz coin. They're still going strong, I'm not counting them out. CT and Tony finally get their puzzle back, but CT... Ooh, he's like, I don't know what to fucking do. I can't fucking, I gotta walk the fucker. And again, with the hills, it's a beautiful design, but to having to walk all that up and down constantly with a bad back, Jesus Christ. So we're at Station 3, Eat and Run. Again, I do enjoy this. The weird chopsticky part where they pick up the balls and have to bring it. It kind of seems. It's not that bad. It's, you don't see a lot of people struggling with it. It's just sort of a little task that they have to do. They're like, hey, guess what? Do a yard dash or something like that. A yard dash. What the fuck? I'm just saying that I like this final. I don't know why I'm trying to pick at it. But, oh my God, there's a flashback to when Louise gave up in the bloodbath in the, what do we call it now? The Purge. Yeah, I forgot that she quit. I do remember it was pretty valid though at the same time because I think someone threw up on the food that she was supposed to eat, basically, and she's like, "I'm not, I can't do it." All right, Wes and Booby catching up with the eating thing, and yeah, Booby going back to like, "Oh yeah, we trained and shit." But what Casper and Louise do, they pick some really good shit actually. I mean, just in terms of taste, in terms of not being torturous, it's just kind of like the good stuff, syrup. What do I remember? Cupcakes and shit. But we'll get into that later. CT just slowing ass. He's fuck. Oh fuck. Um, Here we go. Eat and run. Louise and Casper. They got tuna, donuts, cupcakes, syrup, marshmallow, and tuna. Not bad stuff to eat. But this is the crazy part where Casper is just like, look at, what has he got? Like 8 cupcakes he has to eat? So he's like, I'm just going to relax. He actually says, I'm going to enjoy my final. Can I have fun? Like, the whole time Louise is going to be struggling with this, probably going the same pace, from what it looks like. I don't know. But Casper's actually just saying, like, hey, man, I'm just trying to relax. Now, I am entertained by it. I do understand. I understand both aspects of these two. But, spoiler alert, this is going to cost Casper and Louise. This is really going to cost them. They are in a prime position. Casper was getting mad at Louise and was dumbfounded by Louise walking after they get out of the puzzle first. Now that they're here, Casper is just going to sit down and just kind of peck at these donuts. It's crazy. Okay, now Wes. Wes always has these weird fucking moments with him, with self. So what would you even call it? Self-deprecating? No. Yeah, sure. Why not? Because I can't think of any other word. He chooses to eat dog food. There was other shit. I missed the list. But there's other shit that he could be eating, and he chose dog food. That is crazy. I wonder if he just overthought it. He's like, okay, the producers are going to have something where no one wants to eat, but secretly it's fucking good. And that's how they're going to get through it. And maybe that's what happened to him. But now, Tony and CT are catching up at the fucking eating challenge. We all know, we can all recall from, what was it called? Vendettas. Thank you very much. It just popped up. That Tony is a fucking monster when it comes to eating shit. So is CT. God damn it. So this is such a crazy fucking moment of momentum just fucking swinging up. Wes struggling very bad. Casper just not caring enough, And then you have Tony and CT. Not only are they going to eat, but they're also going to make it look so enjoyable where you almost want to eat what they're eating. What do they got? They got what do they got? Onion? I don't know. We'll get into it. But they actually make sandwiches of the son of a bitch. God damn it! Like it's such brilliant work by these two, and it's not even by their doing. It's sardines. Who doesn't like sardines? I've eaten sardines. They're salty sardines, peppers, onions, pig feet, and saltines. That's what they get. And it's actually delicious if you think about it. And CT's kitchen, like, he's just throwing it all together, and it looks great. I wish I had that shit right now, god damn it. So yeah, they're going to enjoy themselves. They actually, no, they don't take first place. Who fucking stops first? I think it might be Wes and Booby. Oh my god, but Booby, he's throwing up shit. He's trying to walk away from it. I wish I knew exactly what Wes and Booby were eating. Oh, this is an awful throwing up thing for Wes, and it's not enjoyable to watch at all. Ugh. Oh, Louise is just getting pissed at Casper, but I don't know. They're both taking these breaks. These, Casper coming into this and Louise. I'm just like, God damn it, they're gonna be amazing, and they are. But what? Oh, here we go. So Wes and Booby first. CT and Tony right behind them, immediately right behind them, and okay, when do they fucking finally get done? Casper and Louise. No, they're still at a snail's pace. How fast does a snail eat? Pretty quickly, I'm sure, but I'm just talking about how fast they move. And if you're asking relative to like how they, I don't know what I'm saying. But here we go. All right, Louise. She feels like she wants to vomit. We're getting back to the Ms. Bank, I believe, with the coins and yeah. And CT, Tony, Wes, Booby, they're right next to each other. There's a holy shit. There was a huge crowd of producers on top of that hill. That was nuts. That was crazy to see. There was like a dozen people up there. All right, here we go. CT and Tony, they are in the lead technically. Only by a small second, but they went from second to third to first. Crazy shit. Still in the rain. I believe Louise says like, oh, I'm used to. I'm gonna stop trying to do the impersonations. She's like, oh, there's it's always like this. It's always dreary old London. You know where else it fucking rains? Washington. And I hated it. Forks. Isn't Forks in Washington? Something like that. Where's Portland at? Is that Washington? Oregon. No, that's Oregon. Oregon, whatever. Fucking. But that rains there all the time too, and I hated it. I was so depressed. Because apparently I need the sun to thrive. Okay, here we go. The fourth checkpoint is beatbox. And it's just covered in ropes. Untie the plastic wrap. What else you gotta do? You gotta do something else. Open the box. Chains. There's chains, I think, maybe. And then open it, do the puzzle, and then leave. And Wes mentions how this is his kryptonite. And it's absolutely true. Once he said it, I was like, oh my God. Champs versus Stars. Yeah, he struggled underwater trying to get that knot out. In Rivals 3, I think he was automatically sent to elimination or something like that. I don't know. It was a huge mission to do, and there was knots involved. And I remember Wes having to use his teeth on the goddamn thing. And then if you want to go even further back, you go back to Wes's first ever elimination loss. Was in the ruins, and it had to do with goddamn knots. So yeah, Wes, when he comes across some ropes, he's fine. But if they're tied up, oh my God, he starts to freak out. But people have their kryptonite in these shows. Eventually you'll notice these patterns. So now we're just witnessing people just trying to work with ropes, plastic wrap, all this other stuff. Not bad, It is sort of what would you call it? Equalizer, I guess, But we have another puzzle here, and it's again CT. If we're talking, weaknesses in kryptonite with Wes and knots, CT's power, where he excels at, is puzzles. He probably has the best puzzle record of all time. I really should look back into that, but I think he does. I do remember when he lost in a puzzle against Johnny Bananas in Free Agents, everyone was like, oh, well, CT, he's not good at those puzzles. He's a big man, he's a strong man, he's not very smart. But and then the people are saying, like, Johnny Bananas, he just fucking, he's amazing at puzzles. No, the opposite. The complete opposite. It was just this weird fucking elimination where CT just couldn't do it and Bananas all of a sudden could do it. It was a crazy, crazy moment. But ever since then, people have had the wrong idea about CT and puzzles and about Bananas and puzzles. So, yeah, this is all about puzzles again. Casper and did they open theirs yet? I know Wes and Booby did just now. So yeah, Tony just lets CT do his thing. He gets it right away. Casper's pissed as CT and Tony run off, but he's like, you know what? He's injured. He's an injured CT. We just have to catch him. That's all we have to do. So they're working on the puzzle. They're gonna get it. They're gonna take off. And Casper just like elbows. Well, he doesn't elbow Louise, but he's like, hey, Louise, we have to pick it up now. No fucking walking. We're just going to have to run. We're just going to fucking win this thing now because we have to beat CT. This is crazy. I remember I was at the edge of my goddamn seat. I was like, no. I was so worried for Wes and Booby. I was also worried for CT and Tony because they do have that first spot, but like they can totally be passed by Casper and Louise. And I wouldn't even be pissed about that either. You know, anyone who was going to win, it would have been just fucking fine, you know? Wes and Booby, they finally get Station 4 done. They're running. We're up to the Miz coins now. But they're, oh my God, I think Casper and Louise can see CT and Tony cross first. Fucking team dad bod. This is great. This what a pleasant surprise, you know? Like the thing was, they could have won going into this, but they're also coming back from injury. That was the other crazy thing. CT is just beyond belief when it comes to these performances in this thing. You know, I was gonna say not since Jordan, you know, coming back from that leg injury in Dirty 30, but this is something else, you know? Because I don't know. I was going to say, well, Jordan faked it. No, he didn't fake it. But I also felt like Jordan definitely pumped it up a lot more. Where it's like, oh my God, my fucking leg, cut it off. No, he didn't say that. But I don't know. It's weird. What the fuck am I saying? I'm just saying that it was great that this win happened. And Tony, he feels like this is validation. I feel like this is validation. Everyone should. Why are these miniseries not considered canon in terms of people's achievements? Like, Tony's win, it feels real to me. So does CT's, you know? But for the regular seasons, they're not going to say, oh, CT is a 4-time challenge champion. No, they're going to say he's a 2-time challenge champion. He's won the West file on his ass. Oh, no. Just a terrible ending for him. But it's fine. It's still extremely watchable, like Wes and Poofy. It does suck that they took third. And the only thing Wes has to say is, like, I hated Louise. Like, she broke my heart, you know? But what I was saying before is that for some reason, you know, like this is CT's second miniseries final win. He won previously against the Stars. But they don't count that. And Tony finally got a win. This is Wes's second final, but his third place. He's just been being beaten by the Stars, actually. These Stars have been beating him. Fucking who beat him last time in terms of the Stars? I don't remember their names. I can see their face. I'm just terrible with names, guys. But I can see their faces. No one cares. Casper and Louise, they get a second place. Casper's pissed, and why shouldn't he, you know? But he did take a rest at that eating station, which was just... It was a huge blow to their chances. I like everybody on this final. I like them all throughout the season. I wonder if I could squeeze in my little award show that I have, where I say, throughout the season, there was. Oh, wait. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should wait till this fucking episode ends. What am I going to miss? They're saying, oh, charity fight, CT. That, nah, no, there's nothing else to say. They're going to celebrate. They're going to say, hey, man, we fucking won. We should have won. Who knew we would win? This is all good stuff. This is great shit. Like, the fact that CT is back. Like it's not like it's not like he ever leaves though. Like I remember when he lost X's one in that final in that fashion. You're like, oh my god, he's fucking done. He's done. And then he comes back and wins Rivals 2 immediately afterwards. Like I don't ever want to count CT out for anything. And now CT's back for whatchamacallit, Final Reckoning. But yeah, Team Dad Bod, they win. Fantastic job, guys. And now, you know what? I'm going to go into my fucking own personal award show. I do this every fucking time. Every fucking time. I get pissed already. I do this every season. Once I watch the complete season, then I like to look back and say, hey, you know what? These particular people deserve an award, my own personal award. It's kind of like the Oscars. It's kind of like a merit system. I don't know. It's all sorts of shit. But I just wanted to say real quick, for the women, I don't have a lot of nominees. Sometimes I have like 5 or 6 women and 5 and 6 men, and then I just give them, best challenge, best male challenger, and then best supporting male challenger, and vice versa, or for the women and shit. So I just want to say with this, I don't have a lot of nominees for the women. All I have are Louise. She got to the final. She was a huge threat. She had her political game exceeded the champions. The Stars ruled the season until they were finally separated and shit, and that's when they were able to get attacked. But for the majority of the time, they had the power, and Louise was a huge part of that thing. She was making the moves. I remember Booby and Casper and then would just say like, you call it, girl, like you call the shit, then we'll carry it out. So a huge thing for Louise, her relationship that kind of came apart with Wes was interesting to watch. And, and Louise is the very first star to return to the season, and I felt like that was a great idea, because she was great last time. And she surpassed what she did previously. So, good job on her. But yeah, she's nominated for sure. She also did a shitload of eliminations, did she not? With like Casper and shit. She was great. Like fucking, I would give her a 10 out of 10. The other female that's nominated though is only Brooke. It's Brooke. Louise and Brooke are the only people the females that really stood out to me and excelled in certain areas. Brooke gets a nod because she eliminated Killer Cam. She eliminated Cam in her very first elimination, and Cam was undefeated three in a row, fucking in vendettas, So that was very fucking impressive, and then she also had these moments just on a personal level, not a personal level, but yeah, sure, why not, whatever, where she's like crying because like CT is like, I'm fucking disappointed in you, and she's like, oh my god, you're like my father and I have this huge daddy complex, which she does. I'm not saying it's unhealthy or anything, but she does talk about her dad a lot. That has to be some sort of thing, maybe not a complex, but a issue. Not even an issue. It's not bad. I don't think it's bad. But yeah, she I remember her just crying. She's like, oh God, it reminds me of my father because, the dad bod and the, over his prime. But no, I totally take that back. Anyways, no, Brooke crying, eliminating Cam, working extremely well with Shane. You know, she had so many of these moments that were both high and low, but mostly high. You know, I loved her. She was so nice. You know, I don't know. I guess I went in here thinking I was like, oh man, she's gonna be this huge bitch because you know she grew up just being Hulk Hogan's daughter, so like there was no need to build a personality. She just had to be in front of the camera and shit and look hot. But no, I felt she was very fucking nice and just this genuine person, and it was great because then I was like, well, good job on you there, Hulkster, for being a good father and just raising up a nice woman, you know. But with all that, you know, I didn't feel any need to nominate anyone else. Not Kayla, not Lil Mama, not Tori. Like Tori actually was on a downslope in her performances. Like usually she's way better, you know. But that's, you know, I'm not saying like her personality wasn't 100% again, you know, like no, she was very entertaining in that aspect, but her performances didn't really help her get a nomination, you know. And Lil Mama, not really. I'm trying to think of other women that were on the show. Like no one really stands out as like, you know, you got to be a great performer, you got to have great confessionals, you got to have you know, that witty repertoire, you got to be charming, you know, there's certain things. So all I'm saying is that I'm doing this by myself, and you know, Dave, Scott, DJ Matty Nice, they're not here to say like, oh well, I feel like these guys should be nominated. They're not here at all. So all I'm nominating is Louise and Brooke for the women, and I think I got to give best supporting to Brooke, and best challenger overall for the women, Louise. Great return for Louise. I think she got nominated her first season, Champs vs. Bros, but I don't think she won, you know, because she quit. And, you know, she did slow down. She did slow down in this final, but overall, though, her impact on the season itself was huge, and you could not deny it. And supporting goes to Brooke for everything that I mentioned before, you know, just being just a pleasant person, an interesting person, you know. You gave us these moments and stuff, and you really tried, and my hat's off to Brooke Hogan. I actually hope she returns. You know, if we're gonna have Louise return, why not have Brooke return? For the men, I'll just start off with Casper. Casper was huge in this season, very much like Louise. He also made those political moves, especially when they were broken into pairings. When, you know, because Casper was sitting snugly in power. You know, it was completely earned because he was also winning and shit. But to have the numbers but to also make sure things went your way. Like I remember when Ashley was put on his team, and Ashley was like, I'm gonna fucking throw it and shit. Like Casper would make sure that she had no position to fuck them over ever. You know, he would always say like outright, he's like, I don't care if you're gonna get mad or whatever, but we're gonna sit you out for the majority of this thing, you know. And yeah, like Casper was always working. He really wanted to win. You know, that is one of the main things you look for in a star when they come on these shows, or a pro, that they could come in and not only challenge the champions, but to take the title away from them. And I think Casper was probably the closest to do it. You know, I just believed in him. I was rooting for him after a while. You know, it was great. I love that he butted heads with other personalities on the show. It was great. The other person nominated was Tony. I feel like he was getting these MVP moments, you know, just doing the winning shots in all the missions and all that other stuff. And then to get paired up with CT at the end, and then to coach him, an ailing CT in the final, like there were so many moments where Tony just stepped up to the plate and he was like, "No, man, this is really I'm serious this time. I'm not here to fucking get laid. I'm not here to fucking get drunk. You know, I'm here to just do the shit." And you know what? It's probably way more possible with Tony to get this win. It makes more sense because they're not there for like a month, 2 months, 3 months filming, you know, with all this temptation all over the place. And they're not drinking, you know, like they're drinking, but they're not going on these crazy ass parties because they just can't. I think they're filming every fucking day, unlike the regular seasons where they're filming every other 2 days, something like that. But yeah, Tony fucking finally gets a win, and he acknowledges it as a real win, and that's awesome. I think it should. I said this before, but you know, this season was 10 episodes long. The island is known as, you know, pretty important in terms of the real seasons, and that was 8 episodes long. You know, and Rivals 1, probably considered one of the best seasons of all time, was 10 episodes long. So why is it that these miniseries aren't being called, you know, legitimate wins? I think it should be. Anyways, on to Wes. He gets a nomination because, god damn it, like, Wes excels at these things. This is his new habitat. You know, the past couple times, I feel like the producers fucked him over on the regular seasons. You know, I think it was Battle of the Exes 2. They fucked him over with bullshit shenanigans, twists, as they like to call them. And then bullshit partnerings with, what was her name? Nani in Rivals 3. You know, like, he deserved better. He deserved Camilla. I've said that multiple times, but they gave her to Tony because producers want Tony to win more than anything else. Anyways, Wes, this is the perfect environment for Wes because he always has a scheme. He always has a thing where he wants to have it play out during the season, you know? He's always got these things that he's going to say. He wants to do this political stuff. And if you give him enough time, he'll fill those episodes up, which is what exactly happened. And if you want a more interesting Wes, like a varied Wes, put him in danger where he has to squirm and he has to make these crazy decisions just to save his ass, you know? But you also saw other moments this season where he was extremely loyal to CT and Tony, you know? And then to see him feel like CT and Tony didn't have his back after all that stuff, like, I just felt like Wes had this crazy emotional journey throughout the entire season. You know, you'll see him lament the loss of his friendship with Louise a couple of times. You'll see him just feel so patriotic in terms of, like, making sure only a challenge champion, full-blooded champion, wins this stuff by just hating Casper when he really shouldn't. You know, like, he kept on calling Casper the bad guys, and Casper would say, like, "Yeah, I'm the bad guy," and laugh it off. Casper thinking, like, "No, I'm really not the bad guy, Wes. You just hate me because I'm not one of you guys. It's so obvious, you know?" But Wes is just, his mind is clouded, you know? It's just so, I don't know. It was very interesting for Wes to be on here. And also, he had one of the more impressive eliminations this season against Devin. That was just, you know, back and forth, great elimination we've seen in a while. And then, yeah, that's why he gets the nomination. On to CT. CT gets the nomination. He tends to hang in the back nowadays. He doesn't really start the drama too much. But he just fucking wins, and people respect his authority, where, again, he doesn't get thrown into those first elimination talks at all, you know? And then he puts on these great performances. You know, he won previously, but there was no fighting through adversity that time. You know, it was very, you know, the champions just completely demolished the Stars. This time, though, they had to come back from injury. CT fucked up his back for real, you know? And it wasn't even just that. It was the threat of Wes and Booby and the threat of Casper and Louise to get that win. Jesus Christ. Like, huge points just in the final alone for CT getting a nomination. And then we have Booby. Booby, he came in knowing the game. It felt like he watched the show. And he wants to win. Like, he's used to being in those positions, you know? He made the political moves. He made the moves during the missions and shit. It was, God. And then to get in the final with Wes of all people, like, that was just great, you know? Just a great team. It does suck that they got third, but it's like someone had to get something. And, you know, what happened exactly? You could say, the puzzles. You could say the eating, where Wes chose the dog food instead. You know, Booby did follow Wes's orders pretty goddamn close, you know? So maybe Booby should have said, like, no, man, not the fucking dog food. Are you kidding me? Let's eat something else. I don't know. Maybe Booby could have threw out a couple of suggestions or whatever, but it doesn't matter. They still performed great. I felt like they deserved to get into the final. But yeah, third place, that does kind of suck. But overall, though, Booby gets the nomination because he was a great addition. In fact, I think they should bring him back as well. Same thing with Casper. Bring Casper back. You know, you always want these stars that just feel like they are naturally challengers to come back. Michelle Watterson. Remember her? Champs vs. Stars? Won? Bring her back. But, okay, so the five guys nominated, Casper, Tony, Wes, CT, and Booby. This was very hard to think of who should win. Who I would give it to or whatever. And I think it came down to Casper and Tony. And it was this huge toss-up because, I mean, part of me felt that if Tony won, then he should get best. But if Casper won, then he should get best. But even after Tony won, I thought, you know what, though? Casper and his political moves kept Tony down the entire season. So Tony had to play more of an underdog position. And Casper, even though he was being attacked, he was a huge target. He kept winning in every way possible. Any way he could do it. And so now I feel Casper gets best and Tony gets best supporting. That's what it really comes down to. Tony, if he were to get the best, it would mostly just be like, hey man, I felt like you should have won Vendettas, but you didn't. So this is almost like saying, hey man, this is for winning this season and winning Vendettas before. But this is not what it's about. I think Casper was the best male challenger this season. So yeah, that was the whole season. I'm sorry this thing was so late, but I had to approach it a certain way, and I felt audio commentary and then having this little award show afterwards would be great. So stay tuned. Like, subscribe, comment. I'm going to be covering Final Reckoning. And this was Vincent Cloud. Goodbye.